I wanted to give you guys an update about what just happened. The Democrats just voted to take over our elections and to basically ensure that they have control of our elections forevermore. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown on what happened, what is in this bill, the so-called voting rights bill, and what comes next, because that's really important, but then what you can do about it. This is really important, so just bear with me. I'm going to run through this. First and foremost, share this video because we have got to get the word out to everybody. That is important. We've got to share what happened because the media is not going to cover this. So today, the House of Representatives, just now, I was on there and I was casting a hell no ballot, voted to federalize our elections. You're probably wondering, what does that mean? They took two dangerous bills, H.R. 1, the For the Politicians Act, and H.R. 4, and created a love child. They took an old NASA bill and gutted it, and then tucked all of this egregious language into the NASA bill. So it was like NASA Infrastructure Act or something. It has nothing to do with NASA. We are not giving voting rights to Martians today. Even though what we voted on was a NASA bill, it was actually a federal takeover of elections. That right there ought to tell you, if they cannot even name the bill, they have to gut another bill and then tuck their egregious, horrific language into it. That tells you that they're trying to hide something. Let me tell you what was in this bill. So I'm sorry, I'm out here on the sidewalk, so it's a little bit loud, but like I said, I wanted to tell you guys what happened immediately because we knew this was coming and we knew that it was going to pass the House. So really, really important that you guys know what's in the bill and then the next step. So within this bill, and there's a ton, but the things that you need to know that are the most egregious are that it is 100% a mechanism to strip states' rights to enforce voter ID laws. So that means you would not be required to show a photo ID to register to vote or to actually vote. No more ID. You have to have an ID to get on an airplane. You got to have an ID to drive a car. You have to have an ID to buy alcohol. You got to have an ID to buy cigarettes. But you no longer need a photo ID to vote in an election. Think about that. So that is in this bill, and that is what just passed the House. Also in this bill is ballot harvesting. Third-party groups that are paid for by political entities and political parties now can collect ballots and then turn them in. Now, we all know that ballot harvesting is a breeding ground for fraud, and this bill actually makes it so that states cannot ban ballot harvesting. Huge problem. The other thing, it allows non-citizens to vote. This bill allows non-citizens to vote. Think about what's happening. Think about the travesty that is happening at our southwest border. 1.7 million just last year, and it's getting worse. I talked to Border Patrol agents just yesterday. It is getting worse. Non-citizens under this bill can vote. The other thing that I think is the most egregious, and this is why I need you guys to help me spread the word about this. And I'm going to use AOC as an example. This is public financing of campaigns. And you're probably like, what does that mean, Kat? Why is that a problem? Let me tell you why that's a problem. Because the way this bill is written, you now, and you being the taxpayer, me being a taxpayer, we are on the hook for a 6-to-1 match. And I'm sorry, there's a fire engine coming, so hold on one second. Don't let this fire engine go by. All right. So we are now on the hook for a 6-to-1 match for donations to politicians that are $200 or less. And you're probably like, well, why does that matter, Kat? Let me put this in perspective. AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, from New York, the original squad member, the one who's pushing the Democratic Socialist agenda. She raised last election $21 million. $21 million is what she raised. Almost $19 million of that was from donations of $200 or less. Let me repeat that. AOC raised roughly $19 million. It was about $18,893,102. I'm doing this off the top of my head because I'm standing out here on the sidewalk talking to you. Almost $19 million in a single election she raised from donors that was $200 or less. So that's a lot of people, right? What does that mean for us now under this bill? Which again, there's still a process. So just because it passed the House doesn't mean that it has gone to the Senate and it's already law. So just hold on. The thing that you need to know is when you have a politician like AOC who raises approximately $19 million in what is called small dollar donations, that puts us in a 6-to-1 match, which means you and me, we don't agree with her, we don't like her, but now we're on the hook to finance her campaign to the tune of $113 million. $113 million. If you have $113 million in your re-election campaign, you're going to be in Congress forever. You hear the Democrats talk about how they want to get money out of politics. This puts way more money into politics. This is why they are the party of do as I say, not do as I do, because their actions are 180 degrees opposite of what they are saying. They are not for the people. They are for themselves. They are for the DC bureaucrats and the politicians, and we know it. This bill is not just about our elections. It is about ensuring that their liberal progressive agenda is about dependency and control. When you think about it, they have this social justice warrior mindset that is all about putting programs in place that aren't hand-ups, right? They're handouts, but these handouts just aren't welfare, right? These are traps. They are designed to trap people into poverty. They are designed to keep people suppressed. And when you look at this whole big thing that's going on, everything from their election takeover bills to the Build Back Broke plan, all of it, this